Hey everyone, I want to come to you with something real timely and quickly here. And I know there's been a lot of discussion about the rising inventory levels in Seattle for our housing market, the cooling off that we've seen. And while all of that is true, I really want to take a step back and still look at the big picture. So yes, the past 2 months or so, we've seen a big shift in the market as we've seen more inventory come on the market, more homes, including a lot of listings of mine, just sitting with not the attention we would have gotten 3 or 4 months ago. So it is quite a different market than what we've been used to. However, is this a sign of a permanent shift? Time will tell, but we really want to be careful and not jumping to conclusions or believing every sensational headline that we see in the newspapers or anything like that, which I think is a big problem as well, which we'll get to at another time. But looking at the big picture, we want to remember we have an area in Seattle where we are really lacking land, okay? So even if we have seen a double amount of inventory available, okay, if we're at a month and a half of inventory from what we were at 3/4 of a month, that's still very, very low considering about 4 months or so is a balanced market. So we're still at very low levels historically speaking of inventory. And who is still bringing all these people here? We've still got very tech heavy firms, and that's going to be your Amazons, your Microsofts, all that stuff. So I want to read with you something a lender I trust a lot had worked on, and out of even despite Amazon moving forward with a second headquarters and a location yet to be determined, and the all the talk that the head tax and everything was going to bring, they still had, as of last week, about 6,600 job openings in Seattle. Now, not all of those are obviously for your computer programmers, but a good portion, if not a majority of them were. And now, again, those are $120,000 a year starting salaries. So if we're thinking 3,000 jobs for people of that caliber, that's still a lot that they're looking to bring here as well. And it's not just Amazon. So we saw maybe a week or two ago, Apple became the first $1 trillion company. They are also expanding their footprint in Seattle as well. They leased a location in 2 Union Square. They're going to expand their Seattle footprint by 25%. And they're and also Amazon is second, so they're probably the next likely $1 trillion company. Microsoft is third, and Google is fourth. And Google is also expanding their footprint in Seattle as well. Not only do we know of the massive construction they're doing in Seattle Lake Union already, but they've already approved another 12-story building to go in downtown Seattle as well. Not downtown, but South Lake Union. So we've got now 2 local indigenous of the most expensive companies ever, and now basically the other 2 expanding their footprint here as well. And on top of that, we still have Facebook expanding their footprint as well. So I really want to be careful about jumping to conclusions when it comes to this shift in our market, because we still have these large factors at play where we have one, supply and demand. We've got nowhere to build any new houses, and we've still got very restrictive land use on the already existing land, and evidently still many high-paying jobs that we are attracting people to this region for. So yes, we've seen an increase in inventory, and that has definitely helped out some buyers. But if I was a buyer, I wouldn't get too fat or comfortable that this is going to be a sign of things to come. It very well could be, but this also could end very quickly, because what do we have coming up in about 2 months or so? That's going to be the end of October, and typically after Halloween, new listings stop coming on the market. So we could very well, in the next, buyers could maybe have a 30, 45, 60-day timetable here where they can continue to eat up the homes on market, get good deals on that before new inventory just really shuts off after October. And now we're back to those very, very scarce conditions starting the year, which are always the most brutal times for buyers. So that was a lot of info. I really didn't get intend to get that verbose on it. But this will be something really interesting to watch for. So please, any questions, comments, let me know, and we'll continue to track this as we go along.